The views on this program do not reflect those of ONTV or its board of directors. Welcome to Oaa Now, your home for Oakland Activities Association news and information. Here's your host, Sammy.
Welcome to Oaa Now. Here I'm Sammy Timina, blogger of the Dragons Insider, blogger of Inside the OAA, and one of the hosts between 2 minutes of Orion Television. I'd like to welcome our friends watching on the local voice on SoundCloud, those watching Orion Television, and also those watching on YouTube.
Yeah, whole mess of places you can see this show.
Oh, yeah, see, there is a ton of it. We got a lot to talk about this week. End of an era at Harrison.
Yeah, man.
Recapping all the games affecting the OAA teams, and we got some OAA volleyball to talk about as well.
Yeah.
Of course, one team remains in the field, and that is Lake Orion.
Yep.
But let's go to football.
What a weekend! Another. Would you say surprises, shockers, status quo?
Pretty much to me, the biggest shock was at end of an era on Saturday afternoon in Farmington Hills.
Yeah.
Chelsea stunning Harrison 21-14. It was heartbreaking at the same time, for Chelsea fans, Chelsea players. It was relief for them. They're moving on to play Williamston, but Harrison, you
didn't want it to end.
I really didn't want it to end. It was sad, very sad. You know what I mean? And I remember during media day, during the preview show, when we did that, I had a little tear in my eye before the start.
Yeah.
And, I really felt bad for this Harrison football team that they were going to close.
Yeah.
And now it's here. How Harrison got beat was mind-boggling, too. But, the legendary career of John Harrington heading off into retirement. And let's go more in depth that Harrison-Chelsea game.
Yeah.
Harrison started off strong early on. Roderick Hurd, Northwestern commit, had a couple big touchdowns. Then Chelsea responded, tying it up at 7, and then Harrison took a 14-7 lead. Chelsea tied it.
Yeah, back and forth.
I mean,
it's a real playoff game. I mean, it was. And wouldn't you say? I mean,
and it went down in the final 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then came probably the heartbreak. Harrison having a chance to go down the field, pulling up the escape. But unfortunately, there was a low snap. Quarterback Keel Watson, transferred in from Detroit Delta Prep, could not hold the ball. He ended up accidentally kicking the ball deep in the Harrison territory, 22. Ball recovered by the Bulldogs. And then 2 plays later, Chelsea scores on a nice slant route. On a nice inside-out pattern. Got in for a touchdown. It was 21-14. Harris, with 32 seconds left, Harrison had one more chance, but Watson threw a pick.
Yeah.
And
desperation time at that point. You just kind of force everything. Yeah.
And that was your game. Now, the reason I'm sad, is, Harrison entered the league in 2003, coming over from the Western Lakes. You know Harrison from your days in Dexter.
Dexter, we were Southeast Conference always. So we didn't.
Well, Harrison was in the Western Lakes before they went.
Yeah, we haven't really traveled in those circles back in the day.
But John Harrington's been there at Harrison for all 49 years.
Yeah,
443 wins. That's the most in state history.
Amazing.
And to just see this all end, to see an era end like this.
Yeah,
it's got to be heartbreaking. It's got to be. It's tough. It's sad.
Yeah, but you got to give it to those kids, man. I mean, he talked about, it's one of the smallest teams he's ever had, but boy, did they fight. I mean, that was a tough-minded squad, to keep going. And, I mean, they were playing with fire a little bit last week, or the week prior to
against Detroit Country Day.
Yeah, against Country Day. But and they found a way to win. And sometimes it's the luck runs out, and it's time that you close the book.
It's unfortunate, you know what I mean? And you've got to feel for especially those underclassmen because they're not going to be able to graduate from Harrison. Where do you think they'll go? Will they go to Farmington? Will they go to North Farmington? Will some even transfer out of the Farmington School District?
That's a good.
Possible.
That's a very good question. We kind of talked about this, last year in some way, going, "What's going to happen?" You go, "How do they divide this up?" Um, are transfers? Who knows? What are the other programs like? Are they like, "Ooh, boy, we get some of the Harrison guys just because they know what kind of coaching they've had, and is, is Harrington, is he done? Is he absolutely done, or is he is he retiring? The other teams might say, "Hey, come on up, give us a hand." It's now a community type team as opposed to just one. I just a total different landscape now.
I mean, like when you look at the city of Farmington, Harrison football. That's what Harrison was known for.
Oh yeah,
And when they made the decision to close to close Harrison 3 years ago, I mean, there was a lot of backlash from community members and even Coach John Harrington himself. He spoke at that meeting. If the roles were reversed, like if North Farmington
Yeah.
or Farmington were to close, then do you think that the Farmington School District might have made a mistake probably letting Harrison close?
not knowing specifically the finances and beyond the sports angle, because it's always shocking when you see a program like Harrison football and all of a sudden you're like, it's gone. It's just not going to be there anymore. You're used to certain things when you talk about high school football. It's a standard. It's there. It's something you can count on, to give entertainment and to lift up the community. But not knowing, the direct reasoning, did it have the smallest enrollment? Was the building in disrepair and it would cost more to rehab that building than, work with the other two high schools in the Farmington area? That's more than likely the case. So, I mean, if one of the other ones would have closed, there's always going to be an uproar because just like Lake Orion, imagine having the high school here, oh, we're shutting it down and we're going, it just, there's so many memories. I mean, building the new high school, even, back in the, before the 2000s, the new high school was kind of like, well, they're going to, it was a big deal. And that's just moving from one building to the next. This is closing a complete school down that has its own history and legacy and all these different things. It's never easy to do.
Harrison, 13 state championships.
Unbelievable.
13. Been
Yeah.
to state finals 18 times. We
Almo-
know about
almost 50% of his career has been in the state finals.
we know
Crazy.
we know that, and Harrison's developed some really nice rivalries. When you look at the rivalries with besides North Farmington, you got to look at the rivalries with Oak Park, Groves, Clarkston, Adams,
Yeah.
Oxford, Lake Orion. I mean,
Well,
it's going to feel very weird.
yes, and
without Harrison.
I mean, a program like Harrison, it's almost. I've heard people say this, like back when Ohio State and U of M were like top, the two going at it.
Mhm.
But everybody's a rival of the top dogs,
Right.
right? Because everybody's aiming for the top dogs, right? Harrison was top dog for how long?
They were top dog for years.
Harrison might not consider all of their opponents rivals, but all the other people they're playing are going, that's a rival because you want to knock off the top dog.
Right. But look at the players that came out of
Oh,
Harrison.
yeah. I mean,
You got Drew Sten, Akeem Shabazz, you got Aaron Burbridge, you have Devin Funchess,
yeah.
you have and then you've had some Tommy Veno, Jake Veno. You've had some great players, and even Roderick Hurd. You've had great players that went on to play Division I college football, and now you have one in the National Football League, and Devin Funchess. Maybe two of them if you count Drew Stanton technically.
Yes.
But what does this say now that it's going to feel really weird in fall 2019, knowing that Harrison High School is no longer in existence? Because now Harrison High School is going to...
It's a community center,
It's going to be a community center now.
Yeah.
But they're going to keep that sports complex there, the Harrington Sports Complex, Spieler Field over there. It's going to feel weird.
to say the least.
But I
Sam.
also
Yeah.
wonder, what are they going to do with that field now? Because could Farmington or North Farmington play some games on that field? It's possible. They could still play some games on there.
I mean, it's a viable property. Obviously, they're keeping it around.
The city now is going to own it.
Yeah, and with youth sports of all angles, from soccer to lacrosse, is taken off in Oakland County like gangbusters. Right? We've seen that just go through the stratosphere over the last 5-6 years. It's amazing. Those fields will be used.
I know those fields
Right?
will be
And
used.
hey, maybe there's tournaments. There's a variety of things that can be used for, right?
I want to
It's-
know, if you're a Harrison student today, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today? I'm not being mean to you. I'm just putting you on the spot.
I get it. I'm trying to filter all this. It's if I was a student, it's just one more domino that's falling, right? It kind of started with women's basketball on the athletic side of things, right? I
Mhm.
mean, they shut down a year early because they didn't have enough
Right, they
numbers.
didn't have enough numbers.
So there's that.
But now realizing there's no more football.
The football's gone. Season's over. It's a little different because maybe since the season's over and it's ending at the time that it usually ends during the year. I have a feeling when spring hits, that's when the student body's really going to start feeling it, because now it's a countdown and we actually see the end. But it's just another domino going down. It's just waiting for the last cliche city, the shoe to drop, the last domino to fall, or whatever. But it would be, especially like you said, the underclassmen. There's a lot of
Question.
concern in this time of your career, like your high school career. You get used to surroundings. There's a comfort level there. Your buddies are there, your friends, your social circles, your athletics, band programs. I mean, this goes beyond just a football team, right? But the football team is what really brings the community together. They're out in mass to cheer them on. You've got marching bands. I mean, all these people, and then they'll be dispersed throughout the other schools, and you just kind of like, we wish them well. You just hope they adjust and everything's okay, and the other schools welcome all these guys in, and the transition is smooth for everybody over in Farmington.
But it's not going to be an easy transition for those players.
Well, for athletics, it's always
not gonna be
difficult. But even beyond athletics, you just hope for the best for everybody.
I agree with you there. I do agree with you there.
Yeah. It's just kind of
it's
weird.
gonna feel very weird.
It's just weird to talk about it.
Knowing the end of an era there. I wrote a column on it. I mean, if you want to check the column, it's at Sammy Termine at blogspot.com. Talking about the legacy of John Harrington and the Harrison Hawks. If you want to get more information on that. Let's take a break here and let's focus on other football games around the area. We'll recap those here on Oaa Now.
Please remember that CFL bulbs, those curly, energy-efficient light bulbs everybody is using to save electricity, shouldn't be thrown away in your trash. Neither should batteries or home medical sharps. You can check with your local community to see where they can be recycled. Some retailers will allow you to bring them in for recycling. You can also order simple kits online that allow you to collect your recyclables and simply mail them away to be properly recycled. This green tip was brought to you by your friends at Waste Management.
This is Lake Orion's own, the local voice. Call ONTV and get on air 248-393-1060. Let your voice be heard. Internet radio for all. Call ONTV and get on air.
This is the local voice, where you can listen to your favorite classic rock songs, as well as podcasts created by ONTV and its volunteers. If you're looking for a high school sports update show, we have Oaa Now. If you want to hear about some great movies, we have Movies for Dumb Guys. You can also create your own podcast by taking a course with us. For more information, call 248-393-1060.
Welcome back to Oaa Now here. I'm Sammy Timmy here with Ian Locke here.
Hey, Sam.
We got a lot besides all the Harrison
Yep.
sadness. We got a lot of more football talk about.
A lot of crazy games, man.
I mean, Oaa was well represented this weekend.
They were.
They were well represented. Harrison, we mentioned their loss in Division 4. Let's start in Division 3.
Okay.
Farmington went to Lansing Catholic, took on DeWitt. Really was not much of a game. It was probably the game was over in about 2 minutes.
Oh, man.
It was 42-7, that final in favor of the DeWitt Panthers.
On a semi-neutral field?
Yeah, on a
They weren't playing at DeWitt High School.
No, they weren't playing
Right.
at DeWitt High School. They're at Lansing Catholic.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that shocked me, surprised me. Farmington kicks the game off, give up a touchdown.
Oh, no.
It's 8-0 early.
8. They go for 2 every time?
Yeah, 8-0 early. And then Farmington got the next play. They got the next play, gave up a pick 6
Oh, no.
for a touchdown, and it was 14. It was 14. It was 15-0 in favor of DeWitt.
Wow.
And then it got worse from there. And the first quarter score was 29-0 in favor of DeWitt.
Oh, boy.
And then the running clock came,
Yeah.
which
It's hard to get your team back after, we say the wheels fell off the bus, but the bus showed up with 4 flat tires and a busted
that's
radiator.
probably what happened.
Wow.
But
A little overwhelmed, maybe?
well, yeah, I would say that Farmington got overwhelmed by DeWitt. It was not even close.
I mean, giving up a kickoff return, that is you never like to
And
see
then you
that
give a pick
happen.
6.
Yeah, it's
I
the
mean,
planets
it's
are
brutal.
aligned against you, you know.
I mean, the perfect storm fell on Farmington
Yeah.
and Corey Soroch's team.
In the wrong
in the
way.
wrong way. Now, Farmington did get a late touchdown, though, to make it respectable, 42-7. But
Got on the board.
Corey Soroch said something after the game. You know, he thanked his seniors, those who didn't leave the program, those who didn't quit on the program, and it gave him better results. For me, I think Farmington has to play more of a tougher schedule than that they showed.
Okay.
The reason why I say this is, yeah, you play Madison. This program has got a long way to go to say I'm a powerhouse.
Yeah.
They got a long way to go. I mean, I know John Bechtel, when he was over there, really struggled with that program going. Now they're headed in the right direction, but they got a long way to go. I mean, if you got to prove to beat some of the great teams out in the west side of the state.
Yeah.
DeWitt just showed you how far Farmington has to go. They have to.
Do you think, though, that situation, what happened with them and DeWitt, is more of a fluke?
No.
I mean, a kickoff return, unless
No.
I mean, that
DeWitt's
doesn't
got
have-
a lot of experience. They're very talented. There's a reason why they're undefeated in the Capital Area Conference. There was a reason why they were undefeated. I think at the end of the day here, when you look at Farmington, this has to be a successful season for them. The last few years, they were 4-14 in
Yeah.
2 years. That's brutal. And to turn this around, get in the playoffs. Now, being in the blue helps a lot of things,
It does.
but still.
But, I mean, they beat who was
They
set
beat
before
Ferndale,
them.
which was huge for them.
Yeah.
That was a huge win for them, beat Ferndale. Beat Avondale twice, which is always huge. So a lot going on in the right
Yeah.
direction for Farmington.
Well, the one thing they do know now, that team, whoever's coming back, is they experienced some success, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you cannot discount that sort of experience for those guys.
No, you can't.
You
And
get some success. You go, ooh, I kind of like this. We know that we've got to work harder, and usually the mindset changes of the team. It's like, and you bring in the new dudes in.
yeah.
It's like, this is what we do. This is what you must do to find success, right?
they gotta keep that culture though. They
The
gotta
culture and the leadership of the
and the leadership of the
upperclassmen to bring up
upperclassmen,
the
yep.
young guys.
Yep.
Can they do it?
Can they do it? That's the $1 million question for Coach Corey Stroach and his team.
Yeah.
That's the $1 million question.
But it's a bummer the season ended the way it did. But man, it's a good turnaround. I mean, look just the numbers you were just saying just 2 seconds ago. 4-14.
14, yep.
To a playoff win, and that's hats off.
Hats off.
Great season.
Hats off to Farmington.
What a turnaround.
Hats off to them.
Yeah.
Let's go to from Division 3 to Division 2. Groves.
Wow.
They went off, knocked off Livonia Franklin 39. Actually put 54-29.
Yeah.
It was a offensive slugfest.
Yeah.
Groves
Just enough defense.
just enough defense for Groves. When you look at Groves' offense last 2 weeks, 38 against Birmingham Brother Rice,
Yeah.
54 against Livonia Franklin. Incredible offensive numbers. That tells me, and Groves has been doing a lot of it. They've been balanced. When you look at solid running game,
Yep.
passing game's been very solid.
They got it dialed in on the yoke.
They got to dial in on offense. The concern for me with Groves is going to be on defense. I mean, allowing 22 to Birmingham Brother Rice and then 29 to Livonia Franklin. That's not good. Now, Livonia Franklin's a good offense.
Yeah.
Do you see any concerns going forward with Groves, particularly knowing that they have to play Warren De La Salle on Saturday at Hazel Park?
Well, it's always, I mean, just like we said, you can't, paper's one thing, but what are the matchups, right?
Warren De La Salle, big athletic, very talented, good running backs.
What's their defense like? Because if
defense is not bad,
defense nullifies a good offense every time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with this statement. You hear it all the time. Defense wins championships, right? I know there's some people that don't agree with that, but because if you can shut them down, prevent them from scoring, keep them off balance with a solid defense, you have more chance to win than you do if you have
Mike
this
Gione
high power.
is got a ton of experience coaching. He led Warren De La Salle to a championship last year. We know what he did at Macomb, Dakota.
Yeah.
I think
it's going to be
a tough order for Groves.
It is. But you're not going to score 56 or 59 on these guys.
You're going to need to score maybe at least
Maybe can you get 27?
27, 28. I think Groves can get there. It's not going to be easy. That's for sure.
Well, at this point in the season, it's never easy.
No, it's not.
Everybody who is where they're at is there because they've earned it.
Yep. And
right?
Groves is one of those teams that earned it.
Absolutely.
They're taking on a Warren De La Salle team that I read the Port Huron Northern Wall Lake Warren De La Salle game.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would see so much complaining about disparity of matchups.
What do you mean?
Because Warren De La Salle, Port Huron's announcers were complaining about Port Huron's why these two teams were playing each other. These two teams should not be playing each other.
Why?
Warren De La Salle should be in D1. I mean, dude,
Well, there's rules, right? I mean,
there is rules. Here's
we
why.
went over all this
Do you
stuff.
want to know why? Do you want to? Here, I'm going to send a message to Port Huron Northern's guy.
How them grapes? Pretty
I'm
sour.
Port Huron's guy. I'm going to tell him right now. You want to know why? Warren De La Salle's in Division 2. Their enrollment?
Yes.
You got to look at your enrollment.
Yes.
Look at the enrollment. Look at the enrollment Port Huron Northern's got.
Yeah.
Look at the enrollment. You got to. That's how the matches are determined.
We've been talking about that. I mean,
I've been talking about this for 5 weeks.
Longer than that. I mean, especially when new realignments are coming out for the different sports or the regionals and all that kind of stuff. We know why.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
it's
they
no
always
mystery.
look at enrollment. They always do.
It's no mystery.
No mystery. And that's why Warren De La Salle is one of those favorites in Division 2 every year.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, look at who was the team we were talking about that combined? Was it Ferndale?
Yeah, Ferndale University.
It's going against them.
Yeah, it's gone against them.
They got bumped up, and because of their attendance, they should have been. We both agree they should be playing lower, but their attendance got bumped up because they're combining
co-op program.
Yeah,
because a co-op program.
Yes, but those are the rules. That's
those
how.
Are the rules.
That's how it is. It's set up.
That's how it's set up. That is how it's set up.
Sour
I mean,
grapes.
Port Huron Northern can have a great season, But when you got to go play Warren DSL and those teams,
Yeah.
you know, they better gear up. They know what's at stake.
Yeah.
They know what's at stake. I mean, now Groves takes on Warren DSL.
Where are they playing? Is it this Friday?
Saturday. All games are Saturday now.
Saturday game.
They're at Hazel Park.
Okay.
They're at Hazel Park.
Not too much travel.
Not too much travel. I'm just a little concerned about the media outlets over there because I know Hazel Park Athletics has not been too kind to other teams in the media lately.
What is that? What do you mean?
Just not been. You know, last year, of course, I know a lot of hissy fits, but
I haven't seen
I'm
one of
curious,
those in a
but
while.
The thing I'm most curious about, and I'm being honest with you, I'm really concerned about Groves in this matchup, and it's not because of Warren DSL, but you know Hazel Park's leaving the OAA.
Yes.
Going to the MAC.
Yeah.
How Hazel Park's going to treat Groves.
Well, how would they treat them? Open the gate. Turn the lights on. Make sure they got some water.
You never know. Sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I can,
Sometimes it doesn't work that way.
I'm not going to say I haven't seen that sort of thing, but mainly on the college level. I don't necessarily see it on the high school level because it is a MHSAA sanctioned event.
That is true.
So they have certain rules that must be adhered to, and they are the tournament managers.
That is true.
So they have to keep their ducks in a row and make sure everything is level and equal.
Level and equal.
Correct?
I agree.
Yeah.
I do agree with you.
Yeah, I don't think that that might be a distraction on the fringes, but I don't see that being a distraction for the teams going forward.
We'll see.
Should be a good game. I'm excited for it.
Should be a really good one. Let's go to Division 1 now. 2 games got to recap. West Bloomfield, Belleville.
Yeah. Overrated, hey, Sam?
I want to know what Ron Bellamy's decision was.
Okay, so lay it out. Lay it out for people who didn't see it. We just saw scores.
Belleville
Set it
beat
up.
West Bloomfield 13-10. West Bloomfield was up. Started off with a 25-yard field goal. Made it 3-0. Scores at the end of the first quarter. West Bloomfield had a 3-0 lead. Then they scored on a 68-yard touchdown pass from TJ Harris to Trey Mosley. Mosley going to Michigan State.
Yep.
So West Bloomfield's up 10-0. Belleville goes down, scores. Their Iowa commit, Hunt, I believe is his last name, makes it 10-6. So it's a good game throughout. It's a good, slow slugfest game, low scoring game. The winds are like
cold and
snowy.
Yeah.
But I think, and then West Bloomfield goes for it instead of kicks a field goal from the Belleville 20-yard line. Gets stuffed, and then Belleville gets the ball back, runs a drive, all run plays for 81 yards. And 81-yard drive.
Plays?
I don't know how many plays, but it was an 81-yard drive, which resulted in a Belleville touchdown. Belleville took a 13-10 lead. And then held on, getting sack of C.J. Harris, and that was your ball game.
Wow.
But one thing that bothers me, and
leaving points on the field always bothers you.
Oh, yeah. This is the same thing that happened to Ron Bellamy against Clarkston last year in the state final. You have a field goal kicker.
It's true.
You have a field goal kicker. He just kicked a 25-yard field goal. You're at the 20-yard line.
Kick a 26-yarder,
Kick another one.
Yeah.
Kick another one. If you kick another field goal, you're up 13-6. And if Belleville scores, you don't lose. You still don't lose because you'll be 13-13 looking at possibly going to overtime. This was another game that I felt Ron Bellamy's decision-making cost West Bloomfield.
Too aggressive?
I think
you go for it on fourth. You have faith in that offense to, it's been putting some points up.
Mm-hmm. But, West Bloomfield.
And that was when he decided to go. Is that first quarter, first half?
Fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter, he had a field goal opportunity?
Yeah, you got to kick the field goal.
I thought it was earlier in the game.
It was in the fourth quarter. You got to kick the field goal.
I'd say first half, maybe even early in the third, you could do that.
You could,
but if you're in the fourth,
you got to get points. You got to get points. And
was he afraid that maybe they were putting too much pressure on that last kick that it was.
Well, I don't
it
know
was close
I don't
because
know what Bellamy was thinking there.
they're putting the
But-
all-out rush on. Maybe go, oh, the other one was close. We
but
don't want
I
to give
know
up a
what-
block
I don't
for a
know what-
score.
I don't know what Bellamy was thinking there. But this is the second time it has cost West Bloomfield. State final last year against Clarkson, you had an opportunity to kick the field goal.
Yeah.
You could have went up 5-3. You would have been a state champion.
But who knew that would turn into 5-3? Nobody.
Nobody.
Even after it went 5-3.
But it didn't happen.
Everybody,
It didn't happen. It
it
was
was
3-2.
3-2, right? But it's like, who knew it was going to end up that way? You're figuring, well, okay, they're settling in. They're feeling each other, they're figuring it out, right? Defense settle in, offense settle in, and then no one could get a yard. I mean, or they could move the ball 30 yards one way or the other, but nothing could get into the end zone. Nothing.
And West Bloomfield, the second straight year, this cost them. And
I
then,
mean, did the weather get bad by that fourth quarter? Was it
and then West Bloomfield basically
snowing and stuff?
And then West Bloomfield basically their defensive line got exposed.
Well,
and
you
that's
get tired.
what Belleville did.
Looks like they got them tired. You got an 81-yard drive in the back end of the fourth
81,
quarter.
yeah. And Belleville's in the end zone.
Pushed them down the field. Wow.
And I think, to me, this describes to me, and I'm not going to blame the players here in
Yeah.
this loss. I think it was Bellamy's decision to go for it on fourth down that cost West Bloomfield that game. If you kick the field goal, you're 13-6. If Belleville would have scored that touchdown, you're 13-13 going to overtime. Still having a chance.
Yeah.
And
I mean, having not seen the game, I'm assuming it was covered.
it was covered. It was covered.
So,
But that decision on fourth down cost West Bloomfield dearly, and it did.
I'd say check out online to what's their Greater Bloomfield
It was at
cable
Belleville.
over there.
It was at Belleville.
It was at Belleville?
It was at Belleville. It was not at West Bloomfield.
Oh, I thought they had a home game.
No, it was at Belleville.
Hmm.
And then of course,
Got to try to find a copy of that game.
there is a couple highlights there.
Okay.
And then let's go to Lapeer and Clarkson.
Wow.
I'll tell you
Oh.
what. I'll tell you why Clarkson keeps on winning these games. They won 13-0 against Lapeer. Shut them out.
Undefeated at Lapeer. Place game of the week on channel 7?
7, yes.
Place was hopping.
Place
Snow
was
on the
hopping.
ground. As you said, it was great turf up there.
It was
Is that what
great
they got
turf,
right?
yep.
Right? Everything lined up for him. And what did Clarkson do? They rolled into town and what?
They beat him. 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. It was scoreless for 3 quarters.
Wow.
But there were some plays that changed the whole game. Lapeer had 3 illegal motion penalties,
Oh, no.
and their lack of tackling and their tackling.
3
Awesome.
illegal motion in the same
Not
possession?
in the same possession, but
But-
during the game,
oh.
throughout the game.
Yeah, okay.
And then there was another one here, which I thought 2 plays maybe completely changed that game. One was a field goal attempt Clarkson made. It was a botched snap that got away. Lapeer picked it up. Thought Lapeer was going to get an easy touchdown.
Yeah.
Clarkson's guy comes sprinting like crazy and gets him. And just tackles him near the 20-yard line. And then 3
Defense.
plays later, Lapeer throws a pick.
Oh, my
Apple
word.
throws a pick to Josh Luther. And the other one was a 4th down and 1 to go, less than 1 inch to go. Clarkson stops Phoenix Dixon, who's been just dialing everybody up.
Yes.
And then they stop Dixon on that 4th down, which set up Clarkson's rally late in that third quarter. And that was your ball game right there.
Wow.
The touchdown by Billette, the second one, that really put the game on ice. But here's the thing. You want to know why Clarkson's won 3 state championships in 6 years? They don't make that dire, fatal mistake.
Yeah.
They don't make it. They know how to play fundamentally sound football. And that's the reason why Clarkston is in the state semifinal against Saline, heading to Okemos.
Yeah, an odd spot.
Odd spot, but it's a very odd situation.
Yeah.
With you want to know it's a rematch of the 2015 state
Yeah.
finals, at
Which
Ford
should be
Field.
good.
which should be a good one.
Very interesting.
Celine had to survive Rockford. But when
you couldn't be more correct, Sam. And when in the pre-show when we were sitting there chatting and you brought that up, and I'm trying to think back to when is the last time we've seen Clarkston in person make any type of mental error, like legit, I wasn't paying attention. I mean, we see it all the time. It happens.
I remember the game against Romeo.
It
where
happens
they
all the
made
time in high
a ton
school
of mistakes
football.
in that game.
But it doesn't, when it counts, when let's say it's a divisional game or they're going for, you're playing for the divisional crown
Or a rivalry game
a
against
big
Orion.
rivalry game. You got, they seem to just focus. I mean, you got to give it to their coach, man. I
For
mean,
Richardson.
yeah, to have those guys in the proper mindset that,
And do this without Garrett Dillinger.
yes, yeah. It's I'm done being shocked by this sort of thing.
It's
And
because,
I got to stop picking against them.
it's because they don't make the fatal mistake.
They don't.
They don't make that mistake. And if and if they do make a mistake, they gear up. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Basically, that's what happened against Lapeer.
Yeah.
Lapeer made some mistakes in that game.
And-
But against a team like Clarkson who doesn't make a ton of mistakes, they are tough to beat.
And we've said it before, like, I don't care who you are, you better come in and play a virtually perfect game. Anytime you're going up against the Wolves, you almost have to play a perfect game
You have to.
because there's no margin for error.
You got to treat it like that. You got to treat it like there's no margin for error against Clarkson. There's none.
And hearing you describe the play, I can see it and I believe it. It's like I'm not shocked where, hey, you have a for sure 6 running the other way on the botch snap for a field goal, right? And they got some guy that out of nowhere comes and runs them down, right? We know there's speed. They have speed. They always seem to have speed. There's always somebody there to make that play.
I mean,
No mistakes, but also making the big play.
there's not well-known players on that team besides Splinter and Dillinger. They don't make mistakes.
They have quality athletes
right.
that can get you.
Yeah, but they just don't make that fatal mistake.
Yeah.
They don't make that fatal mistake. And if you get them to make that fatal mistake, if they make at least 2-3 mistakes, then you can get Clarkson.
Yeah.
But they just
But you better
do
take
not-
advantage.
Yeah, you got to take advantage.
If you don't take advantage, that's even harder to do because like you said, then
they'll dissect you.
Yeah.
They slowly, methodical. They play a slow, methodical system where they'll just dissect your defense.
but also can just beat the will out of you. Like if you think, hey, we got him. No. Hey, 3rd and long, we can relax. No.
Nope.
We're good. There's just they can get you in so many different ways.
And they don't make mistakes.
No.
I mean, and that's why Clarkson's won 3 of the last 6 state titles.
Yep.
I mean, that's why they've won 3 of the last state titles.
Well, let's take a peek at the bracket. So Celine's up next,
Celine's
right?
up next for Clarkson.
They-
Celine beat Rockford in overtime, 13-12. Celine needed a defensive stand
Wow.
to beat them.
And Rockford's no slouch.
Rockford's no slouch. That was at Celine. Now Celine and Clarkson play each other at Okemos.
Nice stadium up there at Okemos.
It is. They just put in turf this year.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Now, what I don't understand is both teams are going to have to travel
I know.
about an hour.
Hour and 10.
Hour and
About
10.
an hour. Well, yeah, it's an hour and 10 up
96.
96.
That's probably where Clarkson's
exit
going.
110.
That's where Clarkson's going. If you're Celine,
Yeah,
think about having to go up US 23 to I-96.
yeah, it just seems so odd, but I know that's the west side of the bracket, right? I mean, they're picking. Was Rockford one of the top seeds going
Rockford
in?
was not one of the top
Okay.
seeds going in. They thought it would have been East Kentwood or maybe East Kentwood maybe was one of those teams that
Okay.
was really ranked high.
All right, so I mean, they set it up for that, so it'd be a halfway, so you don't have the west side having to come too far east, right, for that
But
side
now
of the
you got
bracket.
two
Now you got
east
two
times
east sides
going west.
going in the middle of this.
Going middle of the state.
Yeah.
So
It's so I mean, travel's one thing. Clarkston, I don't know who's going to have it worse. Clarkston has beaten people no matter where. I mean, it doesn't matter where they play.
Doesn't matter where they
No.
play. Clarkson's went to Holland and beat West Ottawa last year.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
And that is a hike. You want to talk about a hike? That's like a take a day off hike. You know.
might as well take one of those nice buses over there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the motor coaches, Indian Trails or whatever.
And what other upsets you thought? I think there was one that surprised me, and that was what the heck happened to Walled Lake Western?
That was
What happened to them? They got Division I recruits everywhere. Sam Johnson, got Spencer Brown,
yeah.
and they
Got
get blown out by Midland.
watch out.
Midland's got two very good running backs.
Watch out for Midland, man.
They got Mona Shores
the
coming up.
road graders.
They got Mona Shores coming up, and that's going to be very tough.
Yeah.
them. Mona Shores is very good. Muskegon Mona Shores is
But
pretty good.
who saw that? No, I didn't see
No
that
one
coming.
saw that coming. But you know what? I think there was a part of me that said Walled Lake Western is the softest, most cuddly team I have seen in 10 years. And Midland just exposed them. They exposed their rushing attack. They exposed their aerial attack. And the weather, they took advantage of the weather. Because Walled Lake Western wants to run a spread offense. A pass spread offense.
And what was the weather like?
30-mile-per-hour winds.
Coldest of the
Cold
year. The
of the
wind.
year, the wind.
What? We got 1.5 inches of snow on the ground, right? And what happens? They just took them right out of
They
their.
took them right out of their element.
Exactly.
I mean, Sam Johnson wants to throw all air raid, and the game started off with the safety, and that was your game.
2-0 win.
That
Wow,
was your game, and
that's
they went
crazy.
out and scored 41 unanswered, and then they had the running clock on there.
Wow.
That was shocking, just shocking.
Yeah, I
and Midland was 45 minutes late
we
because there was an accident on US 23.
is that what it was? We just saw game delayed on the Twitter feeds.
Yeah, I know ESPN 100.9 FM. Those guys, they're Brad Tooney, really nice guy. Matt DeBreeze, nice guy as well.
Were they calling that game?
They called that game for ESPN 100.9 FM. That's a radio station up in Mid-Michigan. But
If you never get a chance, I love the small town little radio guys
mhm,
that call these high school games.
they're
Fan-
great.
They'll
They'll also call basketball games in mid,
it's so
especially in the Saginaw Valley.
I love it. Driving north, like I know you're a Caseville fan, right?
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you go north of Caseville,
But they do. But
it's
they only
awesome.
do it for the Saginaw Valley.
I know, but it's like catching those games. But I'm saying like other communities calling those games.
Mhm.
They're exciting and fun, and
It
getting
is.
that coverage.
Going on the
tune
road.
it in if you get a
Going
chance.
on the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what do you say if you're Walled Lake Western? What happened?
Go home, lick your wounds, and
They lose a ton of talent, though. They lose a ton of D1 talent. Midland just went and just killed them.
well, if they get 2 solid running backs, if they have a solid running game, like you said, that weather. If you're thinking shotgun and read option,
Shotgun,
and
zone
throwing,
read.
not Friday,
Not
Or
Friday.
not
Not on Friday.
no.
I mean,
There were power outages due to those wind gusts, man.
there was
You know?
power outages in that game, but
It-
Midland coming down had to deal with the traffic
Yeah.
accident. Took them an hour.
still focused.
Still
and got
focused,
the job
and they
done.
went and got job done.
It's like hand the ball off the middle and just see what happens.
Well, they also threw a passing touchdown. They gave a 68-yard passing touchdown as
Wow.
well. So
Wonder if that was a long bomb or just like a screen pass, de facto run. That'd be. I love.
you
to
never
see
know.
That.
I mean, now, but that was
They're
a
toast.
shocker for me. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that was an upset right there. I did not expect that one
No.
to happen. My final thoughts this week. My picks this week.
Yeah. What do you think? Who's moving on?
I'm gonna go Groves pulling off the upset against Warren DSL. I think Groves has enough offense to get it done. Warren DSL we know is a very good defense, got a good quarterback, good running back. But I think this is Groves' time, Brendan Flaherty's time to get the state final. I think Groves has enough talent to get the state final. Now I know a lot of people are picking De La Salle to win maybe by 2 scores and all that.
Oh,
but
okay.
I think Groves is gonna pull off the upset. Clarkson Saline.
Toss up.
It is a toss-up, but I'm going to give the edge to Celine because I think Celine, they got a very good running back. I think they're going to get Clarkson to make that one fatal mistake in that game.
Really?
They're going to get him to make that one fatal mistake.
Even though they don't do that.
No. I think they're going to get him to make that one fatal mistake, and it's in the middle of nowhere in Okemos.
Middle of nowhere, just outside East Lansing.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's like it's a hike for both Celine and Clarkson.
Yeah, that's true.
Celine's a little bit more closer to Okemos than Clarkson is.
Yeah, that's true.
So
You're taking Celine.
I'm taking Celine.
Interesting. I'm surprised.
I'm taking Celine.
No, we picked against, or at least I picked against Clarkson last week. I will not do that again. Like I said, I got to stop picking the.
You got Clarkson?
I got to stop thinking about it and just go, hey, until like basketball, until they drop one and show me a reason not to pick against them or to not pick them, then
You
then
got
I'll
Clarkson
do that. Yeah,
over. You got Clarkson.
I have Clarkson.
What about Groves
and a squeaker? I want to take Groves too in a close one. I'd say by a field goal, maybe.
Groves
It's gonna be very, very close.
It's gonna be tight. Both.
At least I hope so.
We'll see what happens going forward there.
Rooting them on.
All right, now we're going to take a break here. We're going to focus on girls volleyball here on Oaa Now.
Music, weather, sports, and you. Me? Yes, you. You're listening to The Local Voice.
Welcome back to Orion Now. Here I'm Sammy Timmy here with Ian Locke here.
Hey,
Let's go from football. Let's go to girls volleyball now.
volleyball.
As mentioned, there's one OA team remaining, and that's the Lake Orion Dragons.
Yeah.
And
then there was one.
then there was one. We had three. Of course, Ferndale lost in the regional semifinal to St. Clair Shore South Lake.
South
in 3
Lake,
games.
really?
Yep. Then South Lake, I'm getting beat by Detroit Communication Media Arts. Now they're in the quarterfinal.
Okay.
Recap the one at Lake Orion.
What a week for
What
Lake Orion,
week for
man.
Lake Orion volleyball. I did not expect the regional final to go where that score went. 3-game sweep of Stony Creek. Stony Creek beat Lake Orion early in the year in the regular season.
And
Lake Orion had no problem with Troy. Stony Creek had no problem with Lake Northern. But my God, 3-game sweep.
Yeah.
Third game was nuts.
And I thought earlier in the year, we had some cameras out there for that game, or at least Dragon Broadcasting did, the high school. And just to set it up, I mean, this was a big match for Lake Orion to try to get back. I mean, try a little revenge, a little payback in some way, because that game went the distance.
They got them.
The first time the first matchup between the two at Lake Orion, they went to the distance.
Yeah, Stony won in 5.
And Stony won in 5, and it was close to the end. I mean, it was within a couple
Lake Orion
possessions.
did not have Sidney Smith in that game.
They didn't. So coming into this regional final, wow. I thought it would go right down.
I thought it would go 5.
So did I.
I thought it would go 5, but I want to know what the heck happened to Kate Strayton. She did not show up in that game. She did everything she could, but she played a lot in the back row.
Yeah.
I thought Coach Ross Talbot would put her more in the front a little bit more. But Stony Creek had their chance to send it to a 4th game. They were up 24-20. Lake Orion just battled back.
That was the big shocker. So I didn't get a chance to go to the game. Cross country banquet was that night, so handing out awards, eating some pasta. And I missed it. So I come out of the game and we're like, what happened? What happened? And at first, I was a little nervous because I saw you down on the court and all the people just kind of milling around, and it didn't look like a championship type celebration. And does that mean business as usual? Hey, we won it. We got higher. I mean, what was the reaction like after Lake Orion took the win?
It was insane. It was
big?
pretty insane.
Because it looked pretty subdued by the time we rolled by.
It was a big win for Lake Orion.
It's been a while.
That's probably, if they play like they're like that and not make mistakes, then who knows where this team could go? Who knows? Now they're heading a state quarterfinal.
Yeah.
Taking on Flushing. They should get by Flushing. They played once this year at the BC East tournament.
Okay.
Lake Orion won that in 2 games. Okay.
But in the tournaments, that's kind of how it runs, right? I mean,
Yeah. Yes. And then if they get by that, which I expect Lake Orion will get by Flushing,
yeah. Who's next though?
it'll likely be Farmington Hills Mercy.
Yeah,
And we know how good the Marlins are. Well coached in Loretta Vogel. They
brutal.
They got a couple players. They have who are very talented. One of them played on the United States developmental volleyball team.
Wow,
and that says a lot.
absolutely.
So it's going to be a tough chore. If Lake Orion were to play Farmington Hills Mercy in Battle Creek. Now I think they have the team to do it, but it's going to be a tough chore.
But just like
Farmington Hills Mercy, they are loaded.
Yes, and just like anything else, this time of year,
anything is possible.
Anything's possible, and you better bring your A game and be focused because, like you said, I mean, the margin of error once you get up into this rarefied era of who's playing whom at this time of year,
slim to none.
Oh, there's no margin for error.
And when I look at Flushing's win against Mount Pleasant in the regional final, Mount Pleasant had a 2-0 lead at home in that game. And Flushing came back 1-3 straight.
Wow.
And that probably tells me
that's a tough-minded squad.
They are a tough-minded squad, but I look at the difference between the Flint Metro League, the Saginaw Valley, and the OAA.
Well, if you go
down, is far superior.
You go down 2-0 against LO, I don't think you're coming back.
No. If you go down 2-0 against Lake Orion, you are not coming back. If Lake Orion had to have a submuncual collapse.
Yeah.
If that were to happen. Now that game's being played at Fenton.
Yeah,
so
just up the road.
Up the road, maybe a little bit of a home game for Flushing. But you're bringing in the number 2 ranked team in the state. That's going to be a tough call for them.
And the thing, too, we always go back to, we echo it all the time, and I know basketball's around the corner, and we talk about who do you play? Who are you exposed to during the regular season? And the one thing with volleyball, if you're a casual observer of high school volleyball, you may not know, a lot of these teams run into each other over and over again all season.
They'll see each other.
Yeah, I mean, there's tournaments every weekend.
I mean, you have a Kennington Valley matchup in the quarterfinal with Northville taking on Livonia Churchill.
Yeah. Teams that know each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of mystery. The teams know each other, right? They've played against each other, and maybe not in the longer format of a 5-set or whatever, but if it's the tournament format of 2 to 3, but you know what you're getting into, and you know who you're playing. There's no mysteries.
You know what you're getting yourself into.
Correct, and
it is
Lake
brutal.
Orion is now they're kind of the big dog. Everybody's aiming for them.
They are.
So maybe a little intimidation factor could go a little LO's way. You never know.
It's going to be a tough task, no doubt about it. I mean, I don't think Lake Orion's going to have any issue with Flushing. It's the semifinal match of Farmington Hills Mercy.
Yeah.
That I think they're going to have problems with. The other side of the matchup, you have Northville taking on Livonia Churchill. Then you have Rockford taking on Richland Gull Lake. It wouldn't surprise me if it would be a Northville Rockford semifinal on one side, Lake Orion, Farmington Hills Mercy on the other side.
Rockford turns out players
They're
year
solid.
in, year out, always.
They're solid. And then you look at, but I think they're going to have some issue with Northville. If I had my way of a state final,
yeah,
I know it's a tough one here, but I would want to see Lake Orion take on Northville for the state title.
Really?
That would be a great matchup. Really great matchup.
Where's the state finals held this year?
It'll be held at the Kellogg Center in Battle Creek.
Okay. That's where the semis and the finals, correct?
That's where the semifinals and finals are at.
Yep.
It'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Interesting venue over there.
It is. I've been in it. Really nice place.
Yep.
But we see what happens.
Yeah. It's odd to think, hey, we're kind of winded down on here on fall, right? I mean, this is kind of it.
Basketball is well underway. If you look at the
couple
first
games
practice,
already happening, or practices.
First practice already happened. The boys' side of things. Girls are starting this week.
Yep.
I'm gonna start having my previews out soon. I will announce the previews. I probably won't have them up on the blog, but I will have the previews up here on. So keep listening to our podcast for my projections and insight on both boys and girls basketball seasons, and I want to get your thoughts on that as well.
I was excited to get football underway, and you kind of like basketball's a long way away. Now I'm ready for basketball, man. I'm ready.
Basketball is gonna be here really, really quick.
Yeah, and if you're in the Orion area, you're watching games. Where we have a full slate of games here at Orion Neighborhood Television that we're going to be covering, along with Dragon Broadcasting. So, and you'll be there. Every Tuesday, ONTV is going to have Game of the Week, and it will be basketball for sure for us, at least our coverage, and then I think a Thursday night game or a Friday night game.
Also, there's going to be other channels like CMN TV going to have their fair share.
Yeah, CMN Oxford, yeah.
West Bloomfield will have theirs.
And even Clarkston, Independence TV.
Yep.
So there's a lot of chance to see what's happening around the OAA with all these different community media centers and public access studios and school video programs covering these games. And you go right. I should get a list together, and we should post this when we don't have the cameras on this week.
No.
But we will next week.
Yes.
So once we get into basketball season, we should have a list so everybody can see up on the screen of where to see these games, because you got to support your community media centers.
I agree with you.
It's without
them,
around, there'd be no Sammy Taramina, the legendary Sammy Taramina in OA Sports.
I appreciate it.
And having a good time like this. So
my final thoughts this week. We'll see what happens going forward. Wish everybody best of luck in the football semifinals and also the volleyball region quarterfinal and semifinal rounds and final rounds. So all right, now everybody, I'm signing off here. Good luck, everybody. See y'all next week.
Take it easy, Sam. Oaa Now is produced by Sammy Taramina, and the views on this show are his and his alone. If you'd like to make your own podcast or TV show here at Orion Neighborhood Television, give us a call at 248-393-1060. Classes are always enrolling. Just a 2-night course for $25. Are you kidding me? Get your own show here on the local voice and ONTV. We'll see you next week with Oaa Now. See ya!